with telling us your name and where you're from.
My name is Stephanie Haynes, and I'm from Pasco.
And Stephanie, can you please tell us your amazing testimony that you have for us tonight?
Well, in December of 2014, I made the decision to rededicate my life to God, and like most born-again Christians, I wanted to make church a priority and be consistent, and I did well at first, and then I just felt like there was times where it was a big struggle for me to get to church, and so basically it just felt like every time I would try to come to church, something would come over me. I felt like anything and everything that could have happened, and so by the time I actually got to church, I was like a mental breakdown, and one of the days that I came, my mentor, she told me, "Wow, you look like you're anxious often, and you're restless." And I kind of thought to myself, like, well, yeah, if you only knew what I went through just to get here, you would understand. But I really just started to think about that over the month's time, and I started thinking about areas of my life where I was anxious and felt restless and stuff, and I remembered that I had like trouble sleeping at night, that I would struggle with like tormenting thoughts of just things of the past and stuff, and how it really affected my life. And I started really putting a lot of thought into that, and realizing what a problem it was, and just other areas too. I just easily angered or feeling anxious and stuff. So bad that I would have to just take sleeping pills just to get any kind of relief, and that's just not any way to live. And so
after your mentor was telling you that, there was this restlessness, and you started to examine your life and notice that there was anxiety and fear, and that you even noticed that at night you were in torment, you had to take sleeping pills because you couldn't sleep. Is that correct?
Yes. And then basically from there, it got worse. Months down the road, one day out of nowhere, I started having these intrusive thoughts that I couldn't control. Like, they were just out of nowhere. Thoughts that I knew were not coming from myself. Thoughts that just not the way that I think, and they just made me feel terrible. They controlled me. And
how did it affect your day? How did it impact you?
Well, I felt like paralyzed. I didn't feel like I could even be around anybody, like so bad that I was like, I can't even be around my kids. I'm having these thoughts that are just insane. They're not even from me. I know they're not from me. So I that night, because it happened to start towards the night, and that night I was like, well, I'm going to try everything I can do. And everything that I did would not work, and so I was like, oh, I know, I'll just take a sleeping pill. That'll help, and it'll be gone in the morning. So sure enough, I did that, and the next morning it came on like even worse. And I was like, what is going on? Like, this is insane. And so I battled with it all day long, and finally worked up enough courage to text my mentor and say, I really need prayer. I don't know what's going on, but whatever's going on, it needs to end tonight. And so I got a hold of her, and she came over that night, and we prayed, and I believe that I was delivered. I knew God was delivering me from the oppression, and the next morning I woke up, and I slept like a baby that night too. No sleeping pills. And I felt recharged. I felt like a new person. I even read 2 books in 2 days, which anyone who knows me knows that I am not a reader. So that was proof that I was delivered. And that night I remembered too, when we were talking, she had said that don't be surprised or worried. Those thoughts might come back, but they're no longer in you. They're no longer a part of you, and you'll have to fight them off if they come. And so I didn't have that experience at first, and everything was really good. And then a couple days went by, and those thoughts were starting to knock at my door again, and I was like, oh no. I recognized it right away, and I had to rebuke those thoughts and fight. And they'd go, and then they'd come back, and I just kept fighting and fighting. But the difference was this time, I was stronger.
Amen. Amen. And this prayer, when you believe that you received deliverance, this has been a few months. Can you tell us the changes that you saw, other than the fact that you read 2 books immediately? You no longer take sleeping pills. Is that correct? You can sleep peacefully?
Yeah. I noticed in the last 4 months, I've been consistent. It feels so good. And I used to make excuses, any excuse. I could find an excuse, and now there's no excuse. I want to be here. I want to help other people that might suffer with the same things that I went through. And I hope that my testimony touches other people so that they know that there's hope for them.
And before we finish off, can you just tell us one last thing, is that was there anything else that you noticed about the way you saw or perceived things?
I noticed a couple days or a few days or a week or so after my deliverance, things started changing. Things were, God was talking to me, I feel like, and my thoughts on even just drinking and stuff changed. Whereas before, I felt like if there was a situation where I could be at a drinking event or something, that no longer was a part of me. I felt like a different perspective of it, and so it changed a lot for me.
Amen. Come on, give it a hand of applause. And those that are here and those that maybe are watching on live stream, maybe they are dealing with intrusive thoughts or anxiety or heaviness. What type of advice would you want to give to them tonight?
I'd say don't underestimate the power of prayer and or home groups. That while you can receive or gain wisdom from your home group, you can also receive freedom. So, and freedom, you can't underestimate that. It feels so good, and I'm here to testify that.